The Brooklyn Nets are off to a rough 1-5 start to the season, and then there was Kyrie Irving's news conference following a loss to the Pacers on Saturday night. New York Post Nets beat reporter Brian Lewis was at the game and the eventful post-game presser, and now he is here with me. Brian, are you doing better than the Nets start to the season?
I hope so. It'd be hard for me to be doing that bad.
I'm glad. Well, good. That means you're doing good, so I'm glad to hear that. So let's start with this. Let's start with Kyrie's media availability on Saturday night. Now, you asked him two questions about his controversial social media post. Did we, the media and fans, when I say we, did we learn anything at all from this presser?
At all? I suppose there are tidbits that we can say we learned. I mean, we didn't know whether Kyrie was going to plead ignorance as to the contents of the movie that he was posting a link to. We didn't know whether he had seen it or whether he could say, I really didn't understand how anti-Semitic some aspects of it were. But for the most part, I don't think there were a ton of things that would have stunned those who have been around him. I mean, we know that he's a guy who's going to stay rooted in what he believes in. He's going to stay in his opinions until hell freezes over. There's nothing that really shocked me that I feel we learned that we wouldn't have been able to glean before. Those of us that have been around.
Right. Understood with that. Now, Brian, we know the team hasn't looked good through 6 games, but do you think the drama, one from this summer, combined with the current drama surrounding Kyrie, is affecting this Brooklyn Nets team?
Yes and no. I do think the offseason plays a role in the mess that we're seeing now. I do not necessarily think that Kyrie's tweets or the consternation that it's caused the outside world is having that much of an impact. I mean, let's be reasonable. They were playing poorly long before those became public or that this situation arose. So I don't know that Kyrie's latest situation is playing a huge role in what's going on out here. They've had issues before this.
Yeah, they definitely have, and they've had drama before this as well, too. Now, after Saturday's game, Steve Nash, he called the loss a disaster, and the players had a meeting. The Nets gave up 125 points to the Pacers. They are 29th in the league in defensive rating. So how does this team fix their defensive issues right now?
I don't think there's one simple answer. There's no magic bullet to fixing this. I would say one thing that I completely agree with Kyrie on is they do have a number of guys that are coming back from long layoffs or surgeries or both. And it's going to take a while until some of those guys are right. When you watch Seth Curry out there, and Seth is a middling defender at best anyway, when you watch him try to move his feet out there, you know it's going to be a minute until he gets back to his own natural level. Ben Simmons is nowhere near being a defensive player of the year candidate right now, today. And we know that he has that kind of ability. And I would go so far as to say if the Nets want to be competitive, he has to live up to that kind of ability, and he's not there yet. So there are some physical issues that they're going to have to work with. That's not Kyrie being fatalistic or defeatist. That's just truth. That's a reality of the situation that the Nets find themselves in. But they also have to just give a damn enough to be playing defense and to be concentrating and to be putting in the effort. And effort's not just being physical and roughing a guy up and taking a foul or knocking somebody down. I don't mean that kind of effort. Effort also includes mental effort. It includes paying attention and being locked in mentally every minute, every possession. Now, granted, you're not going to play great defense in every possession, but it means having the willingness to be mentally locked in throughout the game. That's part of what is their issue. And until they do that, until they, as a team, make up their minds that they're willing to do that, they're going to be struggling.
Yeah, and thus far, they have been struggling. 1-5 start. I know some will say it is only 6 games, but as you know, Brian, from being around sports as long as we have, it can get late early. That can happen, definitely. That is Brian Lewis, New York Post Nets beat writer. Brian, thank you for the insight. We will talk soon.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.